So watch me make a game. If I, if watch me make a game with zero experience in Unity. So one of my dreams has always been to make my own video games. As a ah! Okay, let's try one more time. As a software developer and a Call of Duty sweat, I'm more than qualified to make a video game. So I decided, why not take the years of experience I have in web dev and put it to use making a game. I've used game engines in the past like Unity, Unreal, but I never really stuck with it. So I wanted this time to be different. So I decided the best way for this to happen is to participate in a game jam. The game jam I decided to torture with my presence was Mini Game Jam 45. I had to make a game within 48 hours. This was perfect since I tend to procrastinate. But you know how I said I have 48 hours? I kind of lied. We just have 21 hours to get something nice. 8 p.m. on Saturday. Wish us luck. So, with just 21 hours, I had to get to work. Like most game jams, this one came with a theme, that being automation. On top of that, there was a special object that we had to include being an egg. I immediately thought of a shittier version of Factorial, but with eggs. So I guess you could say it's Factorial's awkward undershooting cousin named Pablo. But you know how I said Pablo, I lied. It's actually named Eggbot Inc. The concept is simple. You run a factory that fulfills egg orders for customers. Those orders are fulfilled using a system of egg spawners and a conveyor belts, right? Pretty simple. I thought this was easy enough. That could be something I could finish within the 21 hours I had left. Once I had the idea, it was time to bring it to life. I needed a way to spawn eggs, send them down conveyor belts, and deliver them to the correct customers. On top of that, the game has to keep score, because what's the point of making eggs if no one's judging you for it? I created a new Unity 3D project and got to work. I don't have any footage, so you're just gonna have to believe me. Before we get started, bro, what the fuck is a quaternion? I barely have worked in Unity, so I was taking a look at so many tutorials, especially Bracky, shout out to my boy. Spent most of the day Googling things like how to make a game. I also asked AI way too many questions. So basically, when a tutorial confused me, I just throw a question into ChatGPT like it was my personal tech support. And by the end of the day, I had a tiny wobbly foundation for the game, but it was enough to give me hope for day two. So right now, I guess you could say it's day two. So it's the next day. It's 9 a.m. We were able to get something done, right? Day two is where things got interesting. I decided to make the conveyor belts and next spawners into placeable objects, kind of like building in The Sims. I also worked on the ordering system, and honestly, it was starting to look like the game I had imagined in my head, but I was missing a lot. This was my first game jam, and I think this was the moment where reality hit. Suddenly, I was looking at everything I still had to do, and the clock was ticking. It was 3 p.m., only 2 hours left before the deadline, and I was wondering if it was even worth it to keep going. Part of me was ready to close Unity, put this game in my closet of unfinished projects, and just move on, do it some other day. Maybe this wasn't for me. Maybe it's just too hard. But that's when my wonderful girlfriend walked in, saw me in full existential crisis mode, and gave me the pep talk I didn't know that I needed. With some newfound motivation, I decided to scrap the original Factorial style system and I pivoted to something a lot simpler. There will be four conveyor belts, each with a different type of egg. Customers will come in, they will ask for a specific color of eggs, and we'll give it to them. Pretty straightforward, right? So back to the to-do list. I need a way to spawn eggs, move them down conveyor belts, and deliver them to. Wait a minute. This is basically the same list I had for the first version. Since most of the work was already done, it really sped up my progress on version 2. I just had to repurpose them, and within the next 2 hours, I got it all working. Look at it. Isn't this fucking wonderful? It looks like shit. That's because it is shit. Now that the loop was done, I still needed art and music, right? They made the game. They give it the final pizzazz, if you will. So for music, I grabbed a free pack from the Unity Asset Store. This was a lifesaver. And for the art, I lovingly forced my wonderful girlfriend, yes, yes, the one from earlier, to draw a few assets, and I threw those into the game. And here's the before. It was monotone, grayscale, dull, super, super, super bad. And here's the after. It was pretty colorful. Look at it. Look at these sprites. They're wonderful. Finally, it was time to submit the game. But I didn't have time to test anything, so I started compiling the game for like in a web format, like HTML. And man, why did I do that? That was a fucking mistake. The build took 20 minutes. By the time it was finished, I only had 5 minutes to submit it on itch.io. I really couldn't figure out how to submit the game. PS, for those watching, this is how you actually submit it to itch.io, to the dashboard, and upload it through there. Upload the game, and the game first needs to be published, and then you can submit any game for any jam that you created before. It would be nice to know this beforehand, but it was too late. Anyways, back to the video. So by the time I got everything uploaded, it was too late. We're past the deadline by 5, 6 minutes. It took like 20 minutes to fucking build. So it wasn't included, but it's there. It's real. It exists. It was. So, what did I learn? That was my first game jam. And was it a failure? So technically, yes, but not really. I finished the game. I had fun. I learned a lot and actually made something that worked. I've always wanted to do this, and I've given up countless times before because it just seemed too difficult or too unattainable. But I did that. That's something that I did. So now I am more motivated to keep learning Unity and building games. But I hope this video motivates you to do the same thing that I've done and just jump into it so you can start learning. And if you want to follow along the journey, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.